Breaking dawns, Team Carlino sparkles against San Francisco in a nail-biting win.
Pope at BYU, the Cougs are looking good in the middle. We'll show you the assistant.
Career high coach, the all-time winningest coach on the women's court, is back in the top 25. I'm Emmanuel Nah.
And I'm Rachel Schwartz. Let's tip it off. It's time for the Tube.
Rach, I am in full-time basketball mode. I am loving each and every one of these games.
BYU basketball is doing great.
Seriously.
Yesterday was kind of close, but Carlino's kind of looking like he could be the next Jimmer.
Oh, the Jimmer comparisons are back.
Last night was the Carlino show in the nail-biter against San Francisco. The freshman scored 20 points in the first 12 minutes of the game. His teammates were finding him, and he was knocking them down. Winder to Carlino, fading away. And Carlino hits the tough J. At this point, BYU is up 6 points in the second half. They've been leading the entire game, and Carlino is just on fire. But the Dons hit this jumper and take their first lead of the game with 41 seconds to go. The bench is hyped. They think they're going to do it, but Carlino wasn't going to let that happen. Takes it down the court, feeling the pressure, but he gets the game-winning layup with just under 20 seconds remaining. He took down some people on the way. He just couldn't be stopped. The Dons had 2 more chances to win. Free throw jumper. Great look, but he misses just about everything but the backboard. They grab the rebound. The 3 is in and out. Both teams going for the ball. Everyone's on the floor, but BYU pulls out the win by just 1 point, 85-84. Carlino finished the night with a career-high 30 points. He's only the 3rd freshman at BYU to score 30 points in a game. BYU now has a chance to tie for the West Coast Conference Championship if they win out their final 3 regular season games and if St. Mary's loses at San Francisco or Portland. The Waves had no answer for Charles Abuo in their matchup on Saturday. The Cougs dominated, and Abuo started the opening half with 17 points and 9 rebounds. BYU finished the game with an 86-48 victory, and Abuo didn't just lead the team in the first half. He left the court with a season-best 23 points on 7 of 11 shooting. He hit a career-high 5 three-pointers and pulled down a game-high 12 rebounds. The Cougars' 38-point margin of victory against the Waves is greater than any game so far this season.
In his first season without Jimmer Fredette, Coach Rose knew he needed some help, but nobody would have thought that the LDS coach would turn to the Pope. Cougs reporter AJ Swartwood got the details on the heavenly hardwood help.
2012 hasn't brought the apocalypse yet. Sorry, Mayans. But for BYU basketball, it did mark the end of the Jimmer Fredette and Dave Rice era and the start of the reign of the Pope. It was an unforgettable 2011 basketball campaign for the Cougars, but superstars graduate and coaches change. So head coach Dave Rose got help in a big way with former NBA player Mark Pope. But Pope will admit he's not trying to fill former assistant Dave Rice's shoes.
I don't know that any of us are filling coach's shoes. He's a big-time coach with a lot of experience, and he's doing a great job at UNLV, and this staff has a new identity. We're just trying to figure it out as we go along.
At a towering 6'10", it's not surprising that he formed a bond with fellow big man Brandon Davies.
You know, Coach Pope's more post-oriented. You know, he played in the league as a post guy, so he knows what he's doing. And
inside scoring for the Cougars is up this year, thanks in large part to Pope. Having played under coaches Larry Bird and Rick Pitino, the new assistant has learned a lot from the greats, but he says his coaching style is all his own.
It's amazing how different Coach Pitino is from Coach Bird. Now, there's some things that are constant, but some things are different. And the biggest thing is coaching to your personality. I mean, coaching what you really believe in.
With Mark Pope on the sidelines, BYU has recorded its remarkable 7th straight 20 or more win season. The former Kentucky Wildcat is a Cougar today, and BYU fans hope his goal is just the same, a national championship. Mark Pope has helped the high-powered Cougar offense average just less than 80 points per game, which ranks 12th in the nation. It's not Jimmer mania, but this team has been blessed by its Pope. Emmanuel?
Thanks, AJ. The number 23 ranked women's basketball team found themselves with their backs against the wall last night when they played the USF Dons. The Cougars jumped out to an early lead. Kristen Riley dropping it off to Lexi Eaton for the easy 2. Later on, this is teamwork at its best. Steed in a trap finds Peterson, who dishes it to Riley. She can finish that one. Jennifer Hampson has been strong off the bench for BYU. She grabs the board, puts it back, ending a cold streak for the Cougs. But the Dons never went away in this one. Bailey Barber knocks down this shot, and the Dons went on a 17-7 run. But Haley Steed knows how to throw a pass. She finds Kim Parker, and she finishes that one with ease. Andrea Gordon's three-pointer would prove to be a dagger in this one. And the Cougars fall to the Dons 71-64. With the loss, BYU drops to second place in conference standings, tied with San Diego. Even after a tough loss, the Lady Cougars are still in the spotlight thanks to Jennifer Hampson. The 6'7" sophomore got not one, but 2 awards this week. College Sport Madness named Hampson Player of the Week in the West Coast Conference. Hampson is not only lighting it up for the Cougs on the court, her hard work in the classroom has gotten her onto the Primetime Performers Weekly Honor Roll. Former BYU coach Elaine Michaelis retired 4 years ago as the winningest coach in women's volleyball history. Now she's heading for the Hall of Honor. The West Coast Conference will induct her next month. Michaelis is no stranger to awards. She's gathered many as she coached volleyball, basketball, field hockey, and softball for the Cougars.
After getting back into the top 25, the Lady Cougars are enjoying another great season under the direction of Coach Jeff Judkins. CougTube reporter Brandon Steele talked to the man behind the clipboard.
With the conference championship in sight and a deep run in March on deck, Coach Judkins is getting the most out of his squad, who at 22-5 are on pace to get the most wins in school history.
As a good coach, I think you have to adapt to what talent you have. And the last few years, I've had players that are quick and athletic.
Coach Judkins is currently enjoying his best season yet, but his focus is on more than just the X's and O's.
Every night is somebody else. It's not one person, and so you're not riding on one person having a great game. If somebody's not playing that well, then somebody else picks it up.
Coach Judkins has arguably the most talented team of his career. It's the focus on hard work and unselfish play that has the Cougars in control of their fate, an advantage Coach Judkins isn't taking for granted.
It's in our hands. We don't have to count on somebody else, and hopefully these young ladies will work together and figure that out. And
with 3 Conference Coach of the Year awards already on his trophy shelf, Coach Judkins became BYU's all-time wins leader this season, and he doesn't plan on leaving anytime soon.
It's been a great ride for me. There's not very many people that can say they love their job and love where they're working, and I feel like I'm one of those.
At the Marriott Center, Brandon Steele, CougTube.
Coach Judkins and the Lady Cougs continue their chase for a conference championship tomorrow when San Diego travels to Provo. Tip-off is at 1 o'clock. You know, I'm hoping that these girls can take this win. They're doing really well this season. It's great to see them getting all these great, wins.
Well, I've been to one of the games, and they're just awesome to watch. The girls are really, really, really good. When 11 News at noon returns, anonymous announcer, who's that voice behind the showdowns at the Marriott Center? We'll introduce you.
And Miles makes Manhattan. Batty batters the NCAA mile record in the city that never sleeps. We'll be right back.
Hope.
He doesn't cheer, he doesn't coach, and he doesn't play. But we hear his voice at every home basketball game. CougTube reporter Miranda Montgomery found out why one man's voice sets the mood for Marriott Center Madness.
On number 33, Nate Austin, his first Cougar team foul.
He's the man that everyone's heard, but no one has seen. Trace Eddington is the 14-year announcer for the BYU men's basketball team. His passion for projection started with a degree in broadcasting from BYU. And one day he saw an ad for the announcing position in the paper and decided to audition.
Probably over 100 people came, and we read some pre-prepared things they had for us. And then a couple weeks later, got a call back, and they had narrowed it down to 5 or 6 of us. They had us do some practice things over at the football stadium, and eventually decided they wanted to offer me basketball.
Although Eddington says he rarely feels the pressure before each gig, his colleagues say he impacts the crowd more than he understands.
He definitely sets the mood with how he says things. Most everything that he's supposed to say is already written out, and so it's very important for him to say it in a way that'll kind of get everybody involved and ready for the game.
When sickness strikes the voice of BYU basketball, juice, and if all else fails, the Utah Jazz announcer steps in his place.
Players aren't the only ones with dreams of making the pros. Eddington says he would love to one day PA in the NBA. At the Marriott Center, Miranda Montgomery, CougTube.
Trace Eddington says he believes if he's doing a good job, the fans won't even know he's there.
Miles Batty just keeps running away with the records. The senior Cougar track star set the collegiate record for the fastest mile at the Millrose Games in New York City. He finished second in a race to a professional runner, but he broke the collegiate record by 0.08 of a second. Batty will look to defend his title in the mile at the indoor NCAA National Championships. Those are next month in Nampa, Idaho. BYU women's gymnastics had their hands full as they hosted number 17 Denver, falling just short against the Pioneers. The Cougars performed well on the vault and the bars, led by senior Natalie Ayre-Pickard, but they lost ground to the Pioneers by struggling on the beam and couldn't make up the ground on the floor as Denver escaped the Smith Fieldhouse with the win.
The swim teams made a splash in the first day of the Mountain Pacific Conference Championships. The ladies earned 32 points in the 200 medley relay, helping them move up in the shallow water of third place. And the men's relay earned 26 points. They touched in at 5th overall. The championships end tomorrow, and you can get updates on BYUCougars.com. Home games for BYU men's volleyball don't have the nation's highest attendance for nothing. And the matches this weekend should be no different. The Cougars take on Cal Baptist Lancers at home, and BYU's record hints at a win. BYU has an 11-3 overall lead against the Lancers and a 6-3 record on the season.
It's the first game of the season for first-year pitching coach Wally Ritchie. Baseball opens up in California today with a doubleheader against UC Riverside at 3 p.m. and then again at 5. The golf team is soaking up the sun while we're stuck in this February weather. The Cougar Duffers are playing in Hawaii this weekend with 18 other teams in the John H. Burns Invitational. Zach Blair moved into the top 20 after only one day of the tournament. Softball continues strong this weekend in the Louisville Slugger Desert Classic, taking a win yesterday against Portland State. The Cougars play again today against Cal State Northridge at 3:45. Make sure to bring a date to the Smith Fieldhouse tonight as the men's volleyball team takes on Cal Baptist Lancers at 7 p.m. and gymnastics continues as they take on Arizona tonight in Tucson, also at 7 p.m. The men's tennis team clinched the Deseret First duel for the Cougars, though the competition isn't over. The tennis team started the match winning the first doubles point and ended with a 5-2 win. Now with the tennis points tallied, BYU leads the Utes 28-13. It's the Cougars' third dual win in a row and their fourth in the last 5 years.
When CougTube returns, tennis triumph. The Lady Cougars are making a racket and hope to serve up some more aces.
And stadium spruce up, Lavelle Edwards is going to look a little different this season. I'll tell you about the electronic enhancements when CougTube returns.
Cougar fans now know what to look forward to in the fall. BYU announced their 2012 football schedule, and it features one of the toughest road lineups the Cougars have ever faced. The season kicks off at home on September 1st against the former Cougar Mike Leach's Washington State, and the Holy War continues on September 15th at Rice-Eccles. October features a tough back-to-back road swing against Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. Other noteworthy games will be at Boise State and home games against Hawaii, Utah State, and Oregon State. With the football team's spring practice just 3 short weeks away, BYU fans are anxious to get back to Lavelle Edwards Stadium for some pigskin partying. CougTube reporter Clint Martinson is outside with a scenic view of the stadium that's about to get supersized.
That's right, Rachel. There are 2 new additions to the BYU football program that definitely have some field presence, but oddly enough, they aren't even people.
Venerable Lavelle Edwards is finally getting a facelift this year. Not the coach, but the stadium.
Looking at the landscape of college football and stadiums, a lot of people are getting new scoreboards, and so we felt that that would be a great enhancement to the stadium, to the game day atmosphere, and be able to put 2 video walls in the stadium.
With funding help from New Skin, BYU will replace the 15-year-old north and south scoreboards. LED ribbon boards will also circle each end zone.
If you got up and looked at the south scoreboard really closely, this is what you would see. Hundreds of these little cubes. And each cube is basically a little tiny television screen that only does one color.
The exact details are not final yet, but fans can look forward to much bigger video walls with better resolution and instant information. Whatever this football season brings, one thing is for sure. Fans will have an up-close, high-def view of all the action.
Construction starts this spring, and the video show will be ready for the Cougars' home opener September 1st against the Wildcats of Washington State. But until then, the only LED that size you can see is probably at your local Best Buy. Rachel?
All right, great. Thanks, Clint.
BYU's Boys of Summer are back. Cougar baseball opens the season with a doubleheader at UC Riverside this afternoon. Right-hander Chris Capper will start the first game, and southpaw Mark Anderson will be on the mound for the back end. Sophomore right-hander Adam Miller will wrap up the 3-game series on Saturday. Then the Cougars open WCC play at St. Mary's next week. After their tough loss to Oregon State last week, the Cougars softball team rallied back to defeat 2 ranked teams. The Cougars upset both number 15 Texas A&M and number 11 Oregon at Kawikawa in the Kawikawa Classic. Senior outfielder Delaney Willard is now hitting .579 with 4 home runs in 6 games. BYU will continue to play the Louisville Slugger Deseret Classic against Cal State Northridge this afternoon.
The BYU women's tennis team showed the Nevada Wolfpack who's boss, putting them down with a 5-2 victory. Senior Megan Price and freshman Megan Chiandazan teamed up for the 8-3 doubles victory on court 1. And the duo of Desiree Tron and Morgan Anderson also won 8-3 to take the doubles point from the Wolfpack. Price and Chiandazan both won their singles matches to secure the BYU win. And lacrosse dusted off the cobwebs after a national championship season, and it looks like they still got it. Their trip to Boise State was a success with a 15-3 win over the Broncos. Freshman Christian Taylor scored his first college goals and walked away with the game ball. He said he didn't expect to get the ball, but he likes being recognized for his hard work.
When CougTube comes back, we'll show you who's the closest to taking home the stuffed cougar and give you some predictions.
And I wish I could promise you a gorgeous President's Day weekend, but here in Provo we're looking a little gloomy. Your 11 game time weather when we return. Okay, well, I am really looking forward to this President's Day weekend.
Yeah, I could finally use a break, I'm not gonna lie.
It would be nice to have some warm temperatures, vacation-like weather.
You got plans? You got plans?
Yeah, well, before we go into the gloom and doom, just in honor of President's Day, Calvin Coolidge liked to sleep about 10 hours every night and took naps, and he was president during the 20s, and that's my plan this weekend to honor President's Day, is to take a nap.
Sounds like
because, yeah, look outside right now. It's still a little bit sunny, a little bit humid. We've got about 70% humidity. Right now it's about 38 degrees, and we are going to be warming up for the rest of the day, but coming in the next couple of days, it's not going to look so nice, and so we're going to be cooling down and bringing the clouds. Let me show you what this is going to look like. We have a cold front coming here through the northwestern part, and this is over the next 24 hours. Moving in, and once that cold front hits us, all the humidity in the air is going to freeze and dump onto us, probably in the form of snow. So cooling down. In southern Utah, this is what it looks like for the next couple of days. So a little bit of sunshine still left over today, and if you're planning any outdoor things, tomorrow's the day to do them, because over tomorrow night, that's when the cold's going to start hitting. So probably a little bit of snow overnight, and then definitely going into Sunday. So we'll see that temperature drop to 35 on Sunday in southern Utah, and then cooling off a little bit, probably coming back up though into next week. And then in northern Utah, what's actually interesting is it's going to be a little bit warmer up here, and so same thing, we'll have that temperature drop probably hitting by Sunday. So that's 8-degree temperature drop. Cooling down, a little bit of snow, possibly especially up on the mountains, and then again, so we're going to be cooling down below freezing overnights, and hopefully jumping back up a little bit. And so you're probably thinking, okay, let's go to where the sunshine is, but even where the Cougars are going to be playing tomorrow in Santa Clara, it's going to be a little bit cloudy. So at least 51 degrees though, nice warm weather for them, and we're wishing them really good luck. A little bit rainy, maybe a little bit of rain, but probably not. So that's what we're looking for the next couple of days going into this weekend. So I wish I could promise better weather, but that's not what it looks like.
Well, thanks a lot, Lydia. We appreciate that. Now it's time for that part of the show that everybody loves, predictions. We go to this frame right here. I know everybody's expecting me to be the one who is dominating in the records, but as we look at last week, I'm 3-3. The reporters just do everything I tell them to do, so they're also 3-3. Rachel's 4-2 with the lucky choice last week, and Lydia, the weather girl, the weather woman, she is winning 5-1. If we go to the games that we're predicting for this week, BYU versus Santa Clara. BYU is currently 3rd in the West Coast Conference area. Santa Clara is at the bottom, so we're all choosing BYU. Go Cougs in that one. And the game after that is St. Mary's and Murray State. I think St. Mary's is not going to win this one, but somehow Lydia's picked them to win, and we all know what she picks seems to happen to work. AJ, you and the reporters picked not St. Mary, but Murray State to win. What do you think is going on in that one?
I mean, the reality is St. Mary's has dropped 2 of their last 3. They're without Stephen Holt, their best defender, and Dellavedova is doubtful. I mean, I think
their
Murray
big-time
State,
player.
the Racers are going to run away with this one.
Well, I definitely agree with you, but somehow Lydia picked St. Mary's to win, and
she's got away.
So yeah,
possible it's something
clearly they're going to win.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll tell you what right now. Murray State's playing at home. They're an awesome team. When they're playing at home, they're an awesome team.
1 loss all year.
And I mean, St. Mary's without Dellavedova, you just can't put too much money on those guys.
Right. If they had him, I'd say they'd have a chance, but I'm definitely going Murray State too. I think it's going to be a no-brainer.
What's your secret? I mean, what are you doing? Is there something that I don't know?
I go like this, and
Some pact with the weather gods, perhaps?
yes, there we go.
Listen, whatever you say seems to happen to work, but I promise you that I'll catch up. I'll catch up, and I'm going to win. I can put that. I'll put that on Kutu.
I've already got a one-up on you, so you got to just catch up here. You and the reporters, you guys got to get your stuff together.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Well, that's KookTube for Friday, February 17th.
If you want another look at the stories we did today, or to share them with your friends, check out our KookTube section of the website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon, and go Cougs.
I just wish